Hello there and welcome back to the Scott Ree Project, and today we are going to be doing another traditional dish which is synonymous with the region I live in the UK, the Midlands, and it's predominantly a pie made with gammon or ham or bacon, apples, onions, potatoes and cider. Now this pie is a very old pie, was given at the end of harvest, but a finer tray of ingredients, I think you'll agree, you will not find. I mean, this cannot go wrong. I mean, just look at the pairings of the port, the cider, the apples, the onions, the sage. I'm going to finish it with a bit of cream. It's going to be stunning. But the first thing we need to do is make some pastry. Now, the easiest way to make pastry I find is to go to the shop and buy that. Trust me, it takes all the hard work out of it. All the chefs use it. It's just a top product. So the first thing I want to do then is get my pastry rolled out and line my tin, because we want to blind bake it for about half an hour and let it cool. Then we'll get on with that fantastic filling. So I've got 500 grams of ready-made short crust pastry. So what I need to do is take off about a third for the lid, so about there. Then I want to roll this out and line my tin. You can use a 20 centimetre tin or a 23 centimetre tin. This is a 20, so it will make a slightly deeper pie. But we want to roll this out to about 5 mil, so we can line our tin. So here goes. Fidget Pie a go-go. So I've got my pastry nicely rolled out. I'm just going to lift it up. First I'm going to lightly grease my tin, and we are going to put our pastry in and bring it up the sides. So I've got my tin nicely lined. As you can see, all I'm going to do is put in some baking parchment so we can blind bake this. This will stop the pastry rising. I have set my oven to gas mark 5. If you look up there for the conversions, and I'm going to put it in with the parchment. I'm going to use baking beans, you can use rice, and we're going to just let it cook for 15 minutes. Then after 15 minutes we'll take the beans out, take the baking parchment out, and just let the pie case brown for about another 10 minutes. So gas mark 5 then, in the oven, 15 minutes. Okay, right, we'll start with our filling while we're waiting for our pastry case to bake. As you can see, I've got 2 potatoes weighing about 450 grams. I'm using Maris Piper. 2 Bramley cooking apples, the British flag. We do grow the best apples. And 2 onions. So we need to peel our apples and our potatoes and slice them quite thick, and then thinly slice our onions. Now I know you'd want to see me do this, so I shall quickly do that and we'll get on, start cooking this down, ready for our filling. So as you can see then, I have peeled, cored and quartered my apples. There's a bowl of water, put in some lemon juice, because obviously once the air hits the apples they will discolour, and all I'm going to do, nice thick slices, because this is the first layer that goes into our pie. And like I said, these are Bramley apples, but by all means use an eating apple of your choice or half and half. Either way, it's going to be a winner, baby. Nice, thick slices. So I've got 2 medium onions, and what we need to do is try and slice these as thin as possible, because we will be building this in layers. So our pastry case is at 15 minutes with the beans in, so I am going to take those out. Try and juggle them, eh? Put them back in there. Now that will go back in the oven now for about 8 to 10 minutes just to brown up the base. But it's looking beautiful. So we got our lovely spuds, same drill as the apples, so nice thickish slices. Looking for something like that. Because we're going to just parboil these. And we don't want them collapsing on us. Couldn't be easier. But like I said at the start, you know, you cannot go wrong with something like this. One, the quality of ingredients. Yeah, they're nothing fancy, but altogether, they're going to be something else. As you can see then on my hob, just a pan of cold water. Going to get these potatoes in. Just gently bring them up to the boil and simmer them for 3 to 4 minutes. Obviously we want to try and retain the integrity and the shape of them bad boys. The ham element of our pie, as I said at the start, we are using gammon, but you can use a thick cut bacon or even some sliced ham from the deli or the butchers, whatever you fancy. Or another good way is to buy a bacon hock, cook it until it's just fallen off the bone, then shred that and put that in. So I'm just taking the skin off. Many ways you can do this. You can put it in slices, but I'm just going to gently dice it, so when you break open into it, you should have fantastic cubes of gammon. So nice size chunks, obviously not too big because we're not pre-cooking this. Something like that. So there we have, that's 400 grams then of gammon or ham or bacon. We've got our 2 onions finely chopped. As you can see over there, our 2 Bramley apples thickly sliced, and then on my hob, just gently coming up to cooking temp, 2 potatoes thickly sliced. And that is the basis of our filling, and then we're going to top it up with some of that. What's not to like? What I'm going to do then, just to give them a helping hand to soften them, I'm just going to put my onions on to just tick over, you know, nothing harsh, just to soften them up. So I'll get them in my pan, cover them with water, and you know, we're not boiling these, we're not doing anything bad with these. I mean, you can put them in as they are, but I'm just going to just gently soften them on the hob in some water. So my potatoes are done, and if you can see in there, we don't want them broken down, so they've just parboiled 3 or 4 minutes into that. This is where it starts to become dreamy. About 110 ml of double cream. What's not to like? Let's put a bit more in, and then we'll season it with some sea salt. And this is going to be a pie that you cut cold, so always with your seasoning. I know it sounds crazy, but anything that's going to be eaten cold, you have to over season. But we will be seasoning every layer as it goes in the pie as well, so just give that a shifty round, get it all covered, and that is one of our layers. Oh yes, oh yes indeed. And obviously we're going to cook this for an hour, so it'll all break down and it will keep its integrity, like I said, in layers. Obviously you take it too far, you're just going to have mashed potato in a pie, which ain't cool. So as you can see then, there's our pie base ready to go. In the meantime then, into my cream covered potatoes, couple of tablespoons of plain flour just to thicken that up. Let's put a little bit more in for luck and mix it in. Now there's variations of this pie. If you want to substitute the ham for cheese, a good farmhouse cheddar, or why not put the cheese in with it as well. You know, it's all good. Whatever you do, it's just going to be fantastic, really. Into my pie case then, I am just going to put 3 tablespoons on the bottom of semolina flour, just to soak up all the juices so it doesn't ruin our bottom. No one wants a ruined bottom. It don't look good, especially in jog pants. Right then, now it's time for the fun part. So you want to build a fidget pie. What we want to do then is layer our apples first. A whole layer on the bottom. Let's hope we can get all this in this beauty. And then every layer we will season with salt, pepper, sage and some brown sugar. Get all these in first. There's our layer of apples then. So pinch of salt, pinch of pepper, bit of sage and some brown sugar. And next we should put in our onions. They go in. Look at that. What's not to love? Let's not muck about. Let's get it in there. Beautiful. Again, season with some salt, some pepper, some sage, some sugar. Give it a little bit more sugar. And then the superstar is our gammon. Again, with our quartet. Sage, pork, gammon, ham, loves, sage, and our brown sugar. And some salt. And then good old Mr. Potato on the top. I cannot wait to get into this. You just know, as you sat there watching this, know that this is going to be epic. We got a little something else to add yet as well. If it couldn't get any better, it will do in a moment. So we seasoned that with salt and pepper, so I'm just going to put a bit of sugar on and a bit of sage, the pièce de résistance, a lovely dry cider. Let's have a look at that. Straight out the fridge. So about 110ml, which leaves 390 to drink. What a shame. So just pour it in. And that's semolina. It's about right. Pour a bit in there. Oh man, yeah. That's cool. Right, we'll get a lid on it. Get it in the oven. So with that third of dough that we saved then, we shall fashion us a lid. You know, this is a rustic pie, so if you get a few holes in it, don't panic. Another way of cooking this pie is to just get yourself a pie dish, put all your ingredients in the bottom, top it with puff pastry and put it in the oven. It will be just as good, but I'm going to cut this as a cold pie, so I'm making it more in the style, I suppose, of a pork pie or a meat pie. Is that going to fit that beauty? Should do. So I got my lid on then. If you get a few holes, I had a few holes, don't panic, just patch it up. It's a rustic pie. It's not going to affect how it tastes. There was just enough pastry to do that lid. I was a lucky boy. So egg wash it. And we're getting cooked this. So we've crimped that lid to the edges. That is rustic. If you look up rustic in the dictionary, there'll be a picture of that pie. Right, into the oven with this beauty. So same as before then, in the oven, gas mark 5. There's a conversion for an hour. It's going to be superb. Okay, my friends, the fidget pie has been in for an hour. Let's have a look at it. Hey? What do you think of that? How good does that look? And pastry, it's very forgiving. You can't even really see where I patched it up. You know, it's just, wow. Make your own mind up. That is brilliant. So what we need to do now is let this cool so we can get it out of the tin and we'll take a slice. I can't wait. Right then, let's have a look at this thing. It's been in the fridge, it's been chilling. Let's see if it's all been worthwhile. Gently coax it out. Come on. What a magnificent looking thing that is. Oh yes. Okay then, the moment of truth. I'm going to cut it straight in half. Let's see what we got. Oh yes. So we can take a chunk. And there we have a perfect slice of fidget pie. Wow, what a beautiful looking thing. And if you can see, our apples, our onions, our gammon, the cream and the potatoes. Right, let's try a bit of this. It's got to be done. All that work, I shall get rid of that bit. Wow, how'd you get into this? I think we've just got to get the knife in so we can try a bit of everything. Here we go. Excuse me a moment. Oh, what a mouthful. Well, my friends, there is our fidget pie. And what a fantastic looking thing that is. And trust me, it tastes brilliant. Just imagine that with some pickles and the rest of the dry cider in the garden, sun shining. What more could you ask? And I just want to leave you with a passage from a book. And it says, Joseph Wright, 1896 to 1905, records that fidget pie was a pie given to the reapers at harvest home and was composed of apples, onion and bacon in equal quantities. So like I said, you know, this pie has been around for a long, long time. Again, one of those things that doesn't get made much anymore, but do give this a go because just look at it. That's all you need to know. So if you have enjoyed this episode of the Scott Reed Project, be sure to subscribe to the channel. I release a new video every week. Also, you can find me on Facebook at the Scott Reed Project. You know, you can get onto Messenger. We can talk one-to-one if you have any questions or you're stuck with anything. And also on Twitter at the Scott Reed Project. And remember to like it, share it and subscribe. So until next time then, I am going to cut me a slice of this. The sun's shining. I'm going to get in the garden. All the best. See you again soon.